going into Game 3 of the LCS tonight, there seems to be this perception that, like, tonight we find out about the Toronto Blue Jays, and tonight we find out what the Jays are made out of. And I couldn't disagree anymore. Tonight is solely on the feet of the Seattle Mariners. The Toronto Blue Jays, shit, even their fan base is jumping off. They're talking about, we need to fire John Schneider, we need to fire Pete Walker, and like, fuck this front office, and like, we pissed it away, and they're talking about being a failure of a season, despite the fact they got to a championship series, and all this. There is no expectations for the Jays. The players, of course, have expectations about what they're going to do and how they're going to perform, but even the fan base has jumped off the bandwagon. Tonight, we figure out who the Seattle Mariners are, because they played 2 perfect games in Toronto. They dog-walked the Jays in Game 2. They have everything set up. They're going back to their barn. Their fan base is feeling great. And they are looking like they are going to exorcise the demons of all the failures of the past in this franchise. And they are going to become that team that breaks that curse and gets to a World Series. But my question is what happens in these games? Because it's human nature. You squeeze the bat a little tighter. You swing a little harder. Ground balls and pop-ups become just a hair harder to read, and you choke every throw just a little bit more, and pitchers try to be a little finer and try to throw a little harder and try to be a little bit more perfect, and everything gets amped up. And if things are going well, you can ride that wave. But what happens if the Jays score early? What happens if the Jays score early or Seattle makes a couple errors? Does that snowball just continue to roll downhill and gain steam? Will the ghosts of those past failures come into the minds of the players and the fan base, and how quiet will that barn get? This team now has the weight of expectation of becoming the team that does what no team from that city has done. And if the Toronto Blue Jays come out tonight and score early and the bats get going and Bieber puts up a performance and you take a Game 3, that doubt creeps in, and that feeling of exercising those demons of the past creep into the fan base and into their media and into their clubhouse. And can they deal with the pressure of now being the team with the expectations of closing this out at home and winning this series, and that weight of the fan base? And will those bad feelings get to them? Because closing out a series is damn hard. Winning 2 on the road is hard as hell. Closing it out is real hard. And we know how this Blue Jays team has done with their backs against the wall this year, and how they've always found a way to get it back on the rails. Tonight we find out who these Seattle Mariners are, and if they are that team that can finally do what no Seattle team has done in the past and get this done. It's going to be so interesting to watch. I'm so excited to see this.